Robert Plank Show, episode 180, ClickFunnels. Done for you product launches, lead capture, and conversion with Larry Becht. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Robert Plank Show. We're talking today with Larry Becht, and he's a digital marketing expert helping businesses exponentially grow by providing innovative and leading-edge direct response sales and marketing solutions. Larry is a ClickFunnels certified partner, one of only 30 in the world, and he's also certified through Digital Marketer. His company is the Expert Media Group, which designs highly optimized sales and marketing funnel systems paired with engaging media to help businesses share their message with their ideal target audience. They provide solutions for lead generation, sales, product launches, webinars, membership sites, and many more. All kinds of good stuff. Welcome to the show, Mr. Larry.
Thank you, Robert. Great to be here.
I'm glad to have you. So, we talked a couple seconds ago about, funnels and webinars and membership sites. So it sounds like you create those for people. Is that right?
That's true. Any business owner that is looking to expand their business and grow, especially online, they can do it a variety of ways, whether it's opt-in funnels, sales pages, membership sites, webinars, product launches, you name it. So they come to us and they're looking for a solution in one or more of those areas, and we can deliver it for them.
Awesome. And why should someone, if they want those things that you just listed, if they want, a way to collect leads or a way to make sales or our membership site, why should they go to you and have you do it as opposed to them trying to figure it out themselves?
Right, certainly the technology has changed over the years. Marketing concepts have changed over the years. Direct response marketing is always still the most effective method, and that's what we utilize. We don't go for billboards and mass market advertising and things like that, but the direct response to really hone in on their ideal target markets and their right audience, that's important, as well as the right match for what they're trying to convey. In some cases that might be an opt-in funnel, or some cases that might be a sales or product launch funnel. It's just basically tailored to what they're looking to do to expand their business and grow it online.
Okay, and a little like nugget of what you said in there, it kind of struck for me is that you find the match for them, and that some people they might hear that they need to have a product launch or an opt-in page, but they might not even know like what it is or why they need it, and so by going to you and by having you take care of the strategy part as well as the implementation, it's like, well, then they can come to you and say, here's what my goal is, here's what I need, and then you say, well, here's the tool to do it. And it sounds to me like if someone were to do their own research, I guess, and try to do it themselves, then the problem might be that they might be setting up an opt-in page or some kind of funnel and they don't even know what they're trying to accomplish with it. Is that right?
That's exactly right. They may either go after the wrong target market, or the wrong sequence of events, to try to get leads, or the wrong type of format. Some people think an opt-in funnel is the way to go, but we talk with them and find out what their needs are. And sometimes we say, well, really you need more of a sales funnel, or you need more of a product launch funnel, and things that they never even thought of until we discuss and dig deeper with them. And then we offer additional solutions, and sometimes those are even better than the original idea to begin with.
Right, because you had that back and forth and stuff, and so am I right in assuming that most, if not all, of what you do is with this ClickFunnels platform?
It's a large portion of it, just because ClickFunnels has been around a couple of years now, and we were one of the first folks that got involved with it over 2 years ago, and certainly joined the Certified Partner Program and got the additional advanced training and resources behind the scenes. And there's only 30 of us in the world now that are certified partners through ClickFunnels. So between that and a lot of the digital marketer strategies, there's a lot of great technologies out there now that make websites quicker and easier to develop, but also much more powerful when you combine it with some of those other formats. Yes.
Okay, cool. And I like how you, like you said, like you kind of you got in on the ClickFunnels certified thing on sort of the ground floor. You've been with it since the beginning, but then you also have added it to the Ryan Dice, the digital marketer stuff. And so, as far as ClickFunnels goes, like I don't have an account with them, and I keep seeing like ClickFunnels sort of landing pages more and more, and so I guess my next question is, why do you use ClickFunnels along with other things, but why do you use ClickFunnels in particular as opposed to other solutions or other platforms?
Right, and we certainly used a number of products over the years, and Infusionsoft is one of the largest products out there, and they've been out there for so long. But to a lot of folks, even business owners especially, it's too large and difficult and complicated to understand and set up. So ClickFunnels is probably the simplest solution that's come along in a long time, but yet it is still powerful as Infusionsoft. It has the Actionetics with all the contact management systems and email follow-ups and sequences and action funnels, and there's all sorts of great things you can do with it, not to mention the whole piece of the backpack integration, which you can set up for affiliates. If you have a product or service and you want to have affiliates promote it, it's built right into ClickFunnels too, so that's pretty powerful as well.
Cool. So just to make sure that we're all on the same page here. So if some company comes to you and they want you to make a website for them, you can use this ClickFunnels thing and make a simple landing page. You can make a lead capture page or an opt-in page. You can make a webinar registration page. You can make a sales letter. And then it sounds like what you can do as well is not only build the list, but also use that for email broadcasting, for email marketing. And then the Actionetics piece of it, you can also look at your stats, sort of like Google Analytics, and look at your traffic. And then this other thing you mentioned, Backpack, is also where people can have an affiliate program. So all of that is built in.
Yes, yes, there's three major components, and you get all of that with the ClickFunnels advanced suite of products. Yes.
Awesome. And then so one other thing about that I've heard a little bit about this part of it, but maybe you can set me straight on this, is that as far as the part of ClickFunnels as far as taking payments, I've heard about something where that's not completely built in, but you can set people up with a Stripe account to take payments and then hook it into that. Is that right?
Right. They're certainly adding more and more integrations all the time. There's multiple autoresponder integrations and payment integrations now. Now there's integrations with PayPal, Stripe, Entreport. I mean, there's a whole variety of options now that you can integrate. The other thing that they've done too is there's a whole lot of Zapier integrations now that you can pretty much integrate ClickFunnels to anything else just by using that too. So the integrations just keep continuing to expand as well.
And that's awesome because I know that for me, like I know that when ClickFunnels first came out, or when I look at some of these other solutions like Infusionsoft or Lead Pages or things like that, the thing that I look at is like, well, it's great that there's this system, but geez, I have to give up these other pieces of the business that are working, and I have to do all this extra work to migrate over. And so when I'm hearing you say that it ties into other systems and things, it's like, well, if someone out there already has like a customer like a CRM setup, like a customer relationship management system setup, or if they already have a way of taking payments that they like, or if they already use an email service that they like, they can kind of pick and choose what to use. They don't have to throw away their email service right away if they don't want to. They don't have to throw away their payment service if they don't want to. Is that right?
Right, that's correct. They can either continue to use those in conjunction with ClickFunnels, or they can just merge everything into ClickFunnels and start shutting them down. We've got clients all the time that are saying, okay, well, I've been with Aweber or MailChimp or whatever, and once we migrate them to ClickFunnels, they have the option of then shutting down those external integrations if they want.
Nice. And yeah, so they can slowly transition piece by piece, but they don't have to just make this huge drastic change. And so you mentioned like you work with these clients who already have these situations already set up. So could you kind of walk us through some sort of a case study where you had some kind of client where they came to you and they needed help, and you set up a few things for them and just made their marketing really awesome?
Right. I think one of our largest clients is an alternative cancer therapy clinic in Ecuador, believe it or not. And so we started working with them. They came to us and said, okay, well, we just want basically a sign up page for a webinar. They were doing a webinar for cancer patients looking for alternative treatments out there. So they had a webinar through Webinar Jam and said, okay, how do we tie this to a ClickFunnels opt-in page, get people registered for the webinar? So we did that, but then we also started looking at what else we can do. And so a natural fit for them was they said, okay, we want to educate the clients more than just this 60-minute webinar. So they created a series of videos, educational videos about all of the different facets and aspects of the cancer treatments that they do. So we put together not only a product launch page, but more like a product library, a video library page for folks to get 7 days worth of videos through email that they can click on and watch those, and then also get more information at the end, as well as sign up for a variety of other products. So we really expanded from just the one, webinar type of registration page to several other products as we went along.
Cool. So they were able to try you out and put their toe in the water a little bit with one little piece of it, but then once that was done, then you kind of expanded on that, and that's pretty cool as well. So am I hearing you right in that so not only did you set up these web pages, but did you tell them what types of videos to create and things like that, or how involved were you in that part of it?
Exactly. We've got a range of clients that sometimes they come to us and they say, hey, I know exactly what I want. I've already got the videos. We just need the pages built. And others that say, we're brand new to marketing. We have no idea, what type of videos to use, whether it's, animated or explainer or whatever, and a whiteboard, whatever. And we need your expertise of how to create the videos, what format, how long should they be, what should the content, what should the scripts be. We can help with all of those pieces as well. So it kind of runs the gamut from where we do it all for some clients, and sometimes we do it with them. If they have assets they want to use that they've already done.
Awesome. And the next thing that kind of springs to mind for me is, so let's say just to like kind of keep the example simple. So let's say that some client came to you and they said that all they want is just a sign up page for a webinar and be able to build a list with that. And so if they came to you and said, okay, I want like a sign up page for a webinar, I mean, how much of a price range are we talking as far as like for a landing page? Are we talking about, is this hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars? I mean, how much should someone expect to pay for just like a simple web page?
Right, that's a great question because a lot of it depends upon, for example, are they looking to do a lot of copywriting with this, or do they already have some content? Because we offer copywriting services as well as the marketing strategy, the identifying the target and where the traffic's going to come from. So all the pieces can certainly add into that. Just the basic construction though can be anywhere from 500 to 1,000. And again, that's a far cry from just a few years ago when it used to be 1,000 to 2,000 or more just for a simple page like that. So the prices have come way down with the new technology.
Okay, cool. And then so there's the prices that come way down, and then like how fast of a turnaround are we talking here as far as like, so if like do you meet with them? Is there a lot of communication like both ways for a while, or like is this like coming back in a couple of days or in a couple of weeks? Like how much of a turnaround time could someone expect if they came to you and they said, all right, I want a landing page about this?
Yes, we have the initial review, the initial discussions. Sometimes that can be over the course of the first day or the first 2 days. Once we get all the design requirements figured out, then typically, depending upon the size of the funnel, the size of the page, it could be just another day or two, or it could be up to a week. So we've had some larger products that take up to 2 weeks, but in general, just a typical opt-in page should only be a day or so. So it's a pretty quick turnaround. Again, it used to take, we've heard of some folks saying, well, a year ago I did this and it took 90 days. And, we're thinking a day or two for something simple like that these days.
Cool. So, okay, so you had this client here who had the alternative cancer therapy clinic over in Ecuador, and so you made the landing page for them, for the sign up page and the video series and the product launch page and all that. And then so like with that client, was that just pretty much over with, or do you have any like sort of ongoing like services going on with that client?
Right. That's another great thing about our business is so far we have no clients that have ever just said, create one funnel and then we're done. Every client is still with us and expanding into other areas. So that client has gone on to expand, and now we're creating an affiliate program for him to promote some of his programs, as well as he's going down an entirely new path with another company that he started. So right, every customer, every client that we have is in multiple areas, multiple products, and multiple funnels now.
Awesome. So all right. So there is that client, and you have, so people can just try you out, and then they can kind of go on from there. And I'm looking at your site, the Expert Media Group, and that's at theexpertmediagroup.com. Is that correct?
Yes.
So and what's cool about this, so it's like you have a lot of information and things like that loaded up here, and at the bottom you have this 30-minute business or 30-minute expert business explosion strategy session. So, could you tell us about what that is and why you why you made this a part of your business here?
Sure, that's been a great asset for us to have, because obviously that's people see the site, they love the site, they see everything that we're doing on there, but they certainly want to have more questions and how it can apply to them and how we can help them, the best. So we've had every single folks that we've worked with have signed up through that session, and we have a 30-minute strategy session where we go into, okay, what's your business, what is your product or service, what are you looking to do with that, and then we see where we can make some recommendations and give advice, and see where we can fit in. So, we've only had a couple of folks that do that and say, okay, well, great, that's enough of what I need to do. I just needed to get over this hurdle, and now I can implement this on my own. But the majority of the folks have said, okay, great, well, we definitely want to work with you, and how do we get started? And you just gave me 5 more ideas that I didn't even think about. So that's a great way to get, to communicate with folks, and to find out more about their business.
Right, and I can totally understand your mindset there in that where you're coming from, you're just like, okay, well, this is your bread and butter. You enjoy talking about people's businesses, and they tell you this, and you tell them that, and for some people, that's all they need to hear, and for some people, like they want to figure out like if you're a good fit or not, and so it's like if they come to you and they think their problem was this, and then after, yeah, as someone who knows, who's seen all these different, niches and case studies, you kind of can look at their business from the outside in and say, well, you came to me with this idea, but what, like a better thing to do is that, and here are these handful of things sort of in the background for later on. And so, I mean, so can you kind of walk us through like what someone could sort of expect if they go to the expert media group and they fill in, there's like they put in their name, they put in their phone number, they put in an email address. I mean, can they expect an email or a phone call, or like what's the next step that happens after they fill in this form?
Right. Well, the great thing that what happens immediately is it takes them to the next page where they can schedule a consultation. So right there, if they know for sure that they want to talk with us, it brings up a calendar scheduling window, and they can pick a 30-minute slot in the next 2 weeks and get on our calendar right away. And then it sends them a confirmation and says, okay, great, you're scheduled for such and such dates at so and so time. And then we call them as well to follow up and say, hey, great to, and it also asks them I think it's 2 or 3 questions about their business and what type of business and what are they looking to accomplish with this session. So we try to be as focused as we can during that 30 minutes.
Cool, and I like that too, because I mean, like I know that I'm that way sometimes with like the filling out forms like that, where it asks for a phone number, and I'm just like, oh, are they gonna like call me right away? I'm kind of scared, but I like that how after they fill that in, then they can choose when to meet with you when it's convenient for them.
Yes. Yes.
And so when we're talking about when so they figure out a schedule on the calendar, and then when that date arrives, is this a Skype call? Is this a phone call? I mean, how are you meeting with these people?
Yeah, it depends on their location. And the interesting thing is most of our clients are in other countries, believe it or not. We've only have a few in the United States, and I always thought it would be more just local, but it's really around the world. We've got clients in Australia and London and Canada and Ecuador, and there's a few, in Florida, Chicago, et cetera. So the ones that are in the United States, we typically do a phone call or a Skype call, and then the ones around the world, we primarily do it through Skype as well.
Cool. And then so then you guys chit chat, and I mean, would you say that the people that are booking these free calls, do they more or less like, do they know what they want, or are they just kind of at a loss and looking for ideas? I mean, what would you say is the typical person on these calls?
The majority, we've had a few folks that are just total newbies. We're working with a best-selling author in California as well, who's a great author and has a lot of best-selling books, but doesn't know anything about marketing. So we've had to kind of start from the ground up with him, and kind of recommend everything that he should be doing and where we can help the best. And then we have others that are very specific. Some folks are pretty advanced with their marketing experience, and they say, okay, I want just a lead page. I know I've already got the Facebook ads. All I need you to do is just create this page. So I would say the majority of folks are somewhere in between, where they have an idea. They obviously know their business and they know which product they want to promote. They just don't know the best way to do that. So that's where we help them.
Awesome. So there's a few dimensions to what it is that you provide. Like you can provide, one little piece of the business, or you can do the whole thing. And then there's also the aspect of you can help someone if if they already know some stuff, but they want, they know that they need help in one area, or if they're a newbie and they're completely kind of starting from scratch. And so, as we got this call going, we mentioned that you're a ClickFunnels certified partner, and there's only 30 of you guys in the world. So if someone is, let's say someone is even looking specifically for, like, if they've heard of, like, say, heard of ClickFunnels, and they're saying, okay, well, there's this platform, and it's really powerful, and you can get a lot done with it. But instead of me trying to figure it out, I just want to go in and hire someone to do it. And maybe they're looking around at who can provide this ClickFunnels service, and they see that, you, Larry Becht, are a ClickFunnels certified partner. So can you tell us about what that is exactly, and if someone is looking to hire a ClickFunnels person, why should they hire a certified partner as opposed to just someone who says they know ClickFunnels?
Yes, that's a great question. I forgot to mention that earlier too, is the majority of folks that call us already have bought ClickFunnels, and it seems time after time we hear the comment of, yeah, I just bought ClickFunnels, I'm in my 2-week free trial, and I just realized that it's a little bit more involved than I thought it was, and I need to focus on my business instead of creating these pages. So that's where we need your help. So most of the folks come to us with that aspect, where they realize that it is easy, but not as easy as they thought it was. So the ClickFunnels certified partners, now you can see they've got a marketplace.clickfunnels.com where it shows a little bit more of the marketplace, where we can create funnel templates for folks. If they just want to buy a template and implement it, they can do that there. They can also browse some of the certified partners. But the certified partner program was created in 2015 really to take folks to the advanced level of ClickFunnels. So they offer the advanced training and all of the newest features that are coming out in ClickFunnels that some of the folks may not know about. So we do have advanced technologies that we can use, sometimes even advanced buttons and formats and layouts and scripts and all sorts of things that we can provide to our clients. So it really does give them a boost when they're working with a certified partner rather than just with someone that has ClickFunnels.
Okay, so people can know that the certified people have been more through the ringer, and actually they've proven that they have the credentials, as opposed to someone who, maybe someone else who's not certified. Maybe they might say they've used it, maybe they've used it once or twice, but this is like your business. Like this is your business to the extent that you have tons of templates that you can just plug right in, that that are tried and true and tested. Is that right?
Right, and that's the other thing that they've done too is, there are some certification programs out there where you might watch a video or two and then take a test or quiz, and then they give you a certificate and you passed it. But this one is a pretty rigorous. It's about a 14-week program, and they kind of stretch it out over a little bit more than that. But it's really in depth. I mean, you get into all the details about how to create sales pages and one-time offers and upsells and downsells and all sorts of things that just folks without that training may not know about. So it's really in-depth training, and they want to make sure that you know your stuff, how to create videos and how to write compelling copy and all sorts of those things. Yes, so it's really in-depth training.
Cool. So you know how to set up the pages, but also you know what to write on the pages that you set up. And then I'm scrolling through like the marketplace that you mentioned, and also you mentioned that you're one out of 30 people. So why are you different, and why do you stand out compared to those other 30?
Well, like I said before, there was only a couple of us that were in the first group in 2015. They've introduced another version of the course for 2016, so there's a lot of the folks in there as well. But in terms of the ones with the most experience, I was in the first group, and again, the early experience and the initial experience, and now over 2 years of experience, whereas some folks may only have a couple of months or a year of experience.
Okay, and that makes a lot of sense. I mean, why go to the person who just heard about ClickFunnels last month, or 14 weeks ago, when you can go to the person who has all this experience? And so your agency is called the Expert Media Group, and so can you tell people where to find that, and also if you have any other websites that you want to mention?
Sure. And again, the best place to start is just the expertmediagroup.com. And on there, you'll find out more about what we do, the funnels, the types of funnels, even videos that we've done before, and how it all ties together. That's really the best entry point. We certainly have our phone number listed on there as well, on the contact page and email and so on. But The website, theexpertmediagroup.com, is the best place to start.
Perfect. So, and I mean, and I want to list that phone number just in case people are, people who are listening, if they're pressed for time or something. Is the phone number 719-239-3000?
Yes, that's it. Uh-huh.
Cool. So that phone number and then theexpertmediagroup.com. And you know what, Larry? Like the big takeaway I'm getting from our conversation today is that, there are all these tools out there and there are all these tools that are, coming out. It seems like every couple of months, and it's really easy to get lost and confused in all the possibilities. And at least from what I've heard and what little I've seen from ClickFunnels is that it has all the powerful stuff like some people might have come to expect from things like Entreport or Infusionsoft, but there's really a push to make it powerful but also simple. But there's only so simple that you can only make something so simple but also powerful. And so if someone is in their ClickFunnels 2 week trial, or maybe if they've heard about ClickFunnels and they want to try it out, or even if they just know that there needs to be a better way as far as their web presence. I mean, everything that I'm hearing is that even though it can be powerful and simple, it's best if they go to someone like you to do it for them. That way you can hear about what it is that they need, hear about their needs and stuff like that, and then they can focus on what they do best, what's fun for them. They can focus on their business while you build those web pages for them. Is that right?
That's right. It's really a trade-off between, the time and money. Certainly we can save them a great deal of time, because if they were to implement something, it might take them months, where we can do it in a day or a week. And certainly the money, they might think they're saving money by not hiring experts, but in reality, if it does take them 2 or 3 months to get something to the market, then they've lost a lot of potential sales and obviously taken away focus from their business. So we really do save them time and money by just, hiring the experts and let us do what we know how to do.
Awesome. They'll be an expert in their area, and you be an expert in your area. Cool. So that's Larry Becht, and the site is theexpertmediagroup.com. So thanks so much, Larry, for coming on the show and talking about ClickFunnels and landing pages and your thought process. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you as well.
Great, Robert. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed it.
Be sure to visit our blog and check out other podcast episodes by going to robertplank.com. That's ROBERTPLANK.com.